Hey friends, Nick Arnette, another episode of Cool People I Know or Meet. I met Gail Stalker a while back, actually. We met on Facebook, but I met you sort of years ago when I moved here as a comedian, like thousands of others. But since then, Gail and I, we've done some talking, and she's just got a really interesting history here in LA, and even before that. So let's get to know a little more of Gail Stalker. How about that? Are you up for it, Gail?
I am.
Yay!
Yay.
All right, I'm going to flip the camera around and we'll be looking right at her. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Hey there, Gail.
Hey.
Really, thanks so much for your time. I know how busy you are, but you have just an incredibly interesting career. Now, like I said earlier, I knew you from as the legendary manager of talent, comic talent in particular, when I first moved here over 20 years ago. But you did a lot of things before that. That I know. So, where are you from originally, Gail?
Toronto, but I've been here since I was 5, so this is home.
Okay. Are you a dual citizen?
No.
Okay. You're a U.S. citizen? Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Yay, and a productive citizen of the United States of America.
Yes.
Okay, so you've lived here since you were 5 years old.
Yes.
And where'd you go to high school?
Reseda.
All right, and then what? College where?
Northridge.
Northridge. And after college, first job?
Oh, my first job was when I was 7.
What?
I didn't, after that first job, work again until I was 12. But I think from about 12 on, I've been working.
Well, you had a 5-year hiatus, and then you've been working since then. Okay. Well, what was your first job out of college?
Oh, let's see. One of my favorite jobs about that time, working my way through colleges, was with Gregory Peck's assistant. And that was at Universal, and that was really fun.
You were Gregory Peck's assistant?
Assistant.
Okay.
Yes.
Assistant to Gregory Peck's assistant.
That's right.
That's how busy that guy was?
At the time.
Wow.
Yeah, well, that was a long time ago.
Well, and did you get to meet him?
I did, but it was mostly, I worked, as I say, for his assistant, but it was on the back lot at Universal, and it was a lovely place to work, and I was working my way through college at the time.
Did you see his fan mail?
I don't remember. I do remember one story. There was this gentleman that called, and I didn't get his name, so I asked him to repeat it, and he said, Fred Astaire.
So you got to talk to Fred Astaire on the phone?
Briefly.
You know, that's the weird thing. One time I worked at the Amundsen Theater doing some fundraising there, and I saw Charlton Heston's name on the board, and I just decided to call that number. And I didn't think it'd be anything, and he picked up the phone. It was crazy. It was like talking to God. Yeah. Anyway, so Gregory Peck's assistant, then you're done with that job, assistant's assistant, and then what happens? What about the first real world?
Oh, well, I worked my way through college. I was a bookkeeper, which was a terrible mistake. And I worked for...
You were a what?
Bookkeeper.
A bookkeeper. I thought you said you were a bookie.
No,
yeah.
Bookkeeper.
Okay.
Terrible.
Okay, so your first real job.
I worked at Dun & Bradstreet as a transcriber typist. And I guess my first full-time job, I had moved away from home. I was on my own. And it was a real scary foretaste of what the future could be.
Would you say it was kind of expected for women to have those kind of jobs in those days? That's
yes,
what they did?
There wasn't as much opportunity.
Well, you know, Gail, one of my first jobs out of college, I worked for an employment agency, and I hated it. I hated that job. But no matter if women came in, no matter what they did, no matter what their degree was, anything, they still gave them like a shorthand. And then what happened?
I started working for Los Angeles County, again as a transcriber typist. And as I got my education, I moved on. And I had a bunch of different jobs while I was working my way through colleges with the probation department. I mean, lots.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So you were working with the probation department?
Yes.
Okay.
I started, as I said, as a transcriber typist, and then as I had more education, I moved along and I became a group supervisor. And it was, for a long time, my favorite job I ever had.
You've got some major skills. All right, so the probation department, how many years total were you there?
What a great question. 16 and a half years.
Yeah. Okay, best part about the probation, being in the probation department?
My second to last job, I was fairly autonomous.
Okay.
I set my own hours. I created relationships with kids. I put them in situations where I could make a difference in their life. The autonomous purpose.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Part.
Did you have a title at that time?
Yes. At that time, I was a deputy probation officer, too. And I worked in the Crenshaw area, which is inner city Los Angeles.
Yeah. You had a badge?
I do. I still have it.
You still have it?
I do.
Wow. But working with the kids was the most rewarding part of it.
Well, I did go into the probation department because I had such a miserably unhappy teenage time that I thought somebody ought to study this and figure out how to help kids.
Oh, good for you.
Well, I'm not sure I was the one, but
You gave it a good try.
I did.
Yeah.
And within the department, as I said, I must have had 10 different jobs. And
overall, you liked it?
overall, I never expected to do anything else.
Okay, so then, all those years there, then what prompted you to move on to other things?
I had a job change that I hated. And I resolved I was not going to spend my life doing a job I hated.
Good for you.
And it was tremendously scary for me, who had always had a paycheck, to leave and to go out on my own. And the only thing that was scarier than doing that was the thought of staying there in a job I hated.
Right.
And
good for you. That's very, very profound. The only thing that's scarier is staying at a job that you hate. Good for you. Okay, so you have this job. You're miserable. How did you go about saying, well, what else can I do?
well, I did everything I could think of because I never thought about leaving. I read What Color is My Parachute?
Oh, I love it. What color is my parachute? Yes.
I studied.
Well, what were some of the other things that came up on your survey when you read that book?
Well, something like public relations, maybe. Then all of a sudden, it was like an epiphany. I remembered that when I was 5 years old, my favorite song was There's No Business Like Show Business. And all of a sudden, I knew that's what I was going to do. I didn't know how. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I figured I had 9 months to figure something out or starve, so I went for it.
How about that, friends? Isn't Gail Stocker great? Lots more to come. Of course, we left off about her showbiz career, so we'll be starting with that in the next interview, next segment, and even more things that she's up to. You can get in touch with her on her website, comedycontact.com, comedycontact.com. I'll put it right underneath there. Thanks a million for watching, cool people. I know our meet with Nick Arnette. You're very cool for watching, so continue to do so, will you? Be cool, everybody. Catch you next time.